Good afternoon, thanks for coming. I'm here to provide an update in relation to Operation Eclipse, in particular operational activity which has occurred in the last week to disrupt organised crime syndicates driving the illicit tobacco market in South Australia. Some of that operational activity has resulted in the largest seizure of illicit tobacco in South Australia to date. At about 12 p.m. on the 6th of May last week, members of Air Western Local Service Area stopped a vehicle just outside of Whyalla. In that vehicle was a large quantity of tobacco. Further investigation resulted in Operation Eclipse members attending at a warehouse, which we allege is a distribution centre at an industrial premises at Salisbury. That premises contained 7 million cigarettes and 3.9 tonne of dried tobacco. The total value of that seizure to date is 7.38 million. A residential premises was then searched at Parrot Hills. Evidence was located at that premises that linked the occupant of the premises to the Salisbury address, and as a result, a 51-year-old man from Parrot Hills was arrested. The distribution centre was supplying illicit tobacco in both metropolitan and rural areas in South Australia. As a result of that activity, a 24-year-old man from Prospect was arrested at Whyalla. He was charged with possession of tobacco products for sale and possession of e-cigarettes products for sale. He appeared in the Whyalla Magistrates Court and was bailed and will next appear on the 22nd of July 2025. The 51-year-old man from Parrot Hills was arrested and he was charged with possession of tobacco products for sale in relation to the distribution centre, and he's bailed to appear in the Elizabeth Magistrates Court on the 17th of June 2025. These seizures are subject to ongoing investigations. One of the keys for Operation Eclipse is actually disrupting the financial operations of these criminal syndicates trying to establish in the South Australian market. A key to that is the application of the Criminal Assets Confiscation Act, and we've applied that. To date, the value of combined assets that has been restrained by the South Australian Police is $22.8 million. It will be alleged that those assets are either instruments of crime or proceeds of crime, and SAPO will seek to have forfeiture orders on the assets restrained to satisfy any orders issued by a court. Also, it will be alleged that if those benefits have been obtained by committing serious offences, they'll also be subject to restraint. Restrained property today includes houses, vehicles, cash and silver bullion. In another investigation that relates to Operation Eclipse, restraint has been placed on 2 bank accounts totalling in excess of $9 million. The value of the assets subject to restraint to date identify the level of profit being gained by the illicit tobacco market and the operators in South Australia. It's clear that organised crime is driving the illicit tobacco market, and SAPO is committed to investigating these syndicates and suppress serious acts of violence and arsons. We need to ensure that we prevent community harm, and that's occurring through a whole of SAPO response. What we will be doing is we'll ensure that to disrupt their financial operations and the criminal activity, we will pursue criminal charges and confiscations proceedings every time there's an opportunity and there's sufficient evidence exists. Operation Eclipse has now searched 186 premises and seized in excess of $25.3 million worth of illicit tobacco products. We're now seeking further information from the public. We've had excellent support to date with over 400 calls to Crime Stoppers. We're still after locations where illicit tobacco is being stored, and in particular, information relating to anybody that may be helping facilitate the behaviour and the criminal activity that's occurring in the illicit tobacco market in South Australia. If you do have information, I ask you to contact the police on Crime Stoppers at 1800 333 000. I'll now take any questions.
Do you want to get the video? They might think of something while you're doing that. No pressure, guys.
Okay, what we have is a video of the distribution centre and the quantity of tobacco that's been located within it. This will be in the release as well. You'll note within the premises there were 12 large freezers. Each of them was containing packaged tobacco, which is where the 3.9 tonne came from. It just shows the extent of the distribution centre that's actually operating to supply both the metropolitan and rural areas in South Australia. It's within one of the freezers.
You want anything in there? No, they'll be on the release.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's go around 2 questions.
How significant is the operation in sort of rural South Australia, including Wala? That's
Yes.
the main focal point of Operation Eclipse?
No, we've searched multiple rural locations now, and if you look in the past 3 weeks, we also had a traffic stop back on the 25th of April, which resulted in nearly $1.8 million worth of tobacco. So those rural areas, as I said, we've got a whole SAPOL commitment. It's not just the members that are working on Operation Eclipse within the metropolitan area. SAPOL is significantly invested, and those key transit routes are one of the areas that we continue to look at to prevent product being transported into the state or through the state.
Are those traffic stops due to intelligence, or are they chance stops? Can you say?
No, the one the other week was a chance stop, but what's occurred is there's an increased awareness by all members of SAPOL as to how to apply certain regulations and reform that's came in, which has actually supported the seizure of illicit tobacco.
Do you think you're getting closer to the head of the chain here in terms of these risks?
Okay, it's clear to us that we have a full understanding of how these syndicates are operating, and we will continue to pursue those that are driving the illicit tobacco market in South Australia. And as I said, we'll use any legislation that we have available to us to ensure that South Australia is a hostile environment for those that are seeking to establish here.
Obviously, there's still a market if there's more coming in and you're catching more. What do you have to say to people that are perhaps still purchasing illicit tobacco?
For those that are purchasing illicit tobacco, they need to understand that what they are doing is supporting, illicit trade within the state. And at the same time, they need to understand that we're here to suppress the acts of violence that come with that illicit trade, and I ask them that they actually choose alternate options when they actually purchase cigarettes.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.